What's up, guys? Back again for some more One Piece action. And today we got my live reaction to chapter 1116. All right, so you guys remember at the end of the last chapter, we had Vegapunk revealing the existence of continents on the world of One Piece. They've been gone for about 800 years, or more accurately, they sank to the bottom of the sea. We had the revelation about Joy Boy being the first pirate. Vegapunk kind of going through the history of the world that he's kind of been able to confirm with the few poneglyphs that he's been able to read, but he's also stated that he does not have the entire story and would choose not to speculate on things that he can't really be certain about. So, and through all of this, we have the Gorosei still trying to take out Luffy and everyone, trying to, keep the mother flame, but destroy all of the Den Mushis that are broadcasting the message to the world. So, Egghead is just in chaos right now. So let's see what's about to happen. Chapter 1116 entitled Conflict. All right. So it looks like we're continuing on with Yamato's cover story over here. It says Only Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 6. Getting medicine and dumplings from Osuru. All right, so that's pretty cool. And then we see forget what the big sumo guy that Wano or that Luffy challenged in Wano. He's in the background over there. So pretty cool, pretty cool. But let's jump into this chapter. All right, so where are we going? So a truth too hard to swallow. So we see Vegapunk, he's still up on the message. Where we at? Said, did he just say that there are world-sinking weapons still out there somewhere? All right, so the mass is finding out about the ancient weapons right now. Then it said, okay, we go over to Pangea Castle. We got Im-sama in there. How can an 800-year-old war be ongoing? No one from back then is even alive today. Or are they? A lot of people have speculated that Im and even the Gorosei may possibly be immortal from, 800 years ago. Probably something to do with Law's devil fruit in the past, using the immortality surgery. There's got to be a reason why they mentioned that surgery. And then what do we got? Okay, we see Eam standing in front of a picture that looks like Vivi, but I'm guessing that's Lily, and says, "Why would a war rage on in total secrecy?" And then yeah, okay, what do we got? And then we see Eam's eye, obviously irritated that this mega or that this message is being broadcast to the world. It's like Vegapunk, and then it says, "In all sincerity." All right, that looks like Alabaster right there. Then we see Vegapunk, and then we got Igurum over there. We got Karu, and they're looking down at something. Okay, they're looking down at Vivi's missing poster right now because they don't know what happened to her after the revelry. She had to escape. She's with Big News Morgans right now and Wapple of all people. All right, and then we see a big picture of Cobra, in remembrance of Cobra since he was killed. And we all saw that Sabo got blamed for it, or at least that's how they spun it, was to blame Sabo. It says, "I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart, as there is something else I must confess." All right, what else does Vegapunk have to confess that he's getting off his chest right here? All right, and then we got Pell and Chaka says, "My goal was always to create an energy source to fuel society's development. And while it remains unfinished," all right, so he must be talking about the mother flame right now. He's like, "My research has culminated in the mother flame. Its power has many practical uses. I am certain that one day this undying energy can be harnessed to ensure that the entire world lives in abundance." All right, so the people upon hearing this, they're like, "Oh, that sounds like pretty good." And then he says, "The breakthrough is marred, however, as a small fragment of the flame was stolen." Okay, so he must be talking about when the Gorosei used it. I'm guessing he's like, "I take full responsibility for this unfortunate event." And then it says, okay, we see all the battleships outside of Egghead again. It says, "The Cipher Pol agents are stuck in the middle of the island. This is bad. They're completely surrounded by flames." So, this is after we saw the whole cloud that the records place was sitting on top of. It got completely sliced in half. We saw the Cipher Pol agents that had been trapped there. They were falling out. So, the naval personnel, they're still trying to rescue their guys. And then what do we got? It says, "That was quite the tremor. Any idea what's happening, Edison?" Okay, so this is Stussy, asking about, okay, what was that huge, rumbling we just felt right there? And that was, Gorosei cutting the island in half, or the Cloud Island in half. He's like, "That spooked me too. the whole gosh darn basement came crashing down here with all the Cipher Pol agents in tow. And he's like, can't generate any more clouds for the Straw Hat crew. Came crashing down? How is that possible? All right, so they're like, wait, how did that even happen? What do you mean they came crashing down? So, they're not fully aware of who sent that attack and what exactly was the extent of the damage right there. Okay, what do we got? Okay, so Edison and Stussy, they're still talking. He's like, another monstrous elder must be heading up. And Stussy's over there. Stussy, get yourself out of there. All right, so Edison's still looking out for Stussy. He's a Vegapunk. And then what do we got? Okay, we see Stussy and we just see the dot, 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 but then a little exclamation point at the end. She about to make a move and get her and Kaku out of there. And she's like, Edison, is it okay if I let Kaku go free? Huh? I don't want him to suffer the consequences of this. Don't worry, I won't let him go after the Straw Hats, and I don't think pursuing them will be his priority anyways. All right, so, we've already seen that the Gorosei don't care if they kill Kaku. We saw Lucci try to ask, I forget what his name was, if he could spare him while he was going in there to search for, the Denden Mushi, and he's like, I don't concern myself with insects. So, already Lucci got to see kind of how they're viewed and that they really are just extendable. And now we see that Stussy's over here like begging to let Kaku out. And she's like, I don't think Kaku's gonna be too concerned about going after the Straw Hats. But don't worry, like I'll make sure he doesn't go after him. And then what do we got? Okay, so we see Edison right there, and he's like, understood, Stussy. I'm sorry for putting you through all of this. It didn't occur to me that they were your friends. Forgive me for making you turn on them. All right, so Edison feeling somewhat guilty, they asked Stussy to turn on Lucci and Kaku in order to, help Vegapunk or the main Stella Vegapunk escape. And they never really considered the fact that, she's been, in deep cover with these guys for all these, years, it seems like. So she's probably actually developed real relationships with them, views them as friend, even though she knows she has this mission to accomplish. Once you've been undercover for so long, you start to see the lines blur of who is friend, who is foe, what's good, what's right, what's bad, what's wrong. And sometimes you look past things that other people, that's what they see, and you see deeper because you've been with them so long. So I think Stussy's having a bit of that right now, as far as with Kaku and Edison, them realizing like, yeah, we never, as smart as we were, we never took that into account, and we're sorry. All right, and then we see Kaku over there. He's got a little bit of concern on his face. Now, is that concern, or does he feel bad for Stussy? He's like, despite being torn between both sides, you still rescued us. That inner conflict is proof of your humanity, Stussy. All right, so Edison trying to confirm to Stussy, like, it doesn't matter that Stella is dead. Your conflict that you felt in helping us versus, uh, you know, going against the people that you spent all this time with, like, that right there should confirm to you that you do have humanity. You do have, you can choose your own purpose now. You're not just a clone that was just programmed for a certain mission. You know what I mean? He's like, do as you please. Just find a way to keep on living. So and we see she's like, yes, sir. So that's pretty cool. We see Stussy kind of getting that last chapter we saw her. She's like, what am I even gonna do now that Stella's dead? I didn't protect him. And she felt like she had nothing left to live for. And Edison's over here like, now you get to choose what you want to live for. That's what, being a part of the human race, being alive, that's what that truly means. Being able to make your own choices. So that's awesome. And then, okay, we're cutting back. It's Vegapunk. He's like, 2 weeks after the flame fragment was stolen, we observed an intense glow emanating from above the kingdom of Lelouchia. All right, all those pillars of lights coming down. And then we see them. Okay, I think this is the Kamabaka kingdom. They're like, Lelouchia. I later got the news that the entire nation had mysteriously vanished without a trace. All right. So, are we going to get confirmation that this was from an ancient weapon that was powered by the Mother Flame? It seems like we're heading that way. He's like, before long, my equipment registered the worldwide earthquakes I mentioned earlier. All right. Uh, this might be my pride as a scientist talking, but I was certain of one fact. And then they're like, an ancient weapon did that? Why would someone do that to Lelouchia? He's like, only the Mother Flame could supply the immense energy needed to cause this tragedy. All right, and then oh, what's his name with his King Punch back from Dressrosa, and he's like, Lelouch is gone. This is the first we're hearing about this, and he's like, hurry up, go confirm it. We need to know what's going on. Um, Dogma, I think is that other guy's his advisor right there. My very own invention was used to power an ancient weapon. All right, 100% confirmation. Lelouch destroyed by an ancient weapon. You know, like we all pretty much thought. We figured the mother flame was what powered it, but again, as strong as this mother flame is, like we just had Vegapunk confirm, like, yes, my power invention was used to power this ancient weapon, and that was what was used to destroy Lelouch. But despite that, the thing that I'm still like tripping out on right now, you made this crazy powerful power source, but it still wasn't enough. You couldn't figure out a way to implement it in order to power that giant suit of armor or that giant robot, you know, whatever it is. I think robot would be a more accurate description. But all of a sudden, Luffy comes strolling along onto the island. He turns into, you know, Joy Boy into his Nika form, and the drums of liberation start beating. All of a sudden, you know, robot kicks on, and he's over there on the move now. All of a sudden, so does that mean that Luffy himself or his power, the Nika Devil Fruit, the the beat, the drums of liberation, is an even greater power source, which I think it is, and what ultimately led to this great conflict that we're getting bits and fragments about right now. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's possible that Luffy is an even greater power source, and that's maybe why the world government banded together to fight against him? Because despite even having all these ancient weapons or being able to, you know, steal the ancient weapons, they still couldn't produce as much as Luffy's power could produce, and that's why, you know, maybe they convinced the robot and they convinced Zunisha to, you know, turn against him because they're like, look at how powerful he is. Like, we're not the dangerous ones. He's the most powerful person in the world. Like, we have to stop him before he goes evil. Maybe something like that. And then what do we got? He's like, the motives and origin of the perpetrators are a mystery to me. But in the end, it all boils down to one hard truth. And we got Vegapunk, you know, on his hands and knees, begging right now. It looks like he's atoning. He's like, I am an accessory to this act of mass murder. Yep. So he's on his hands and knees begging the people of the world that he's, you know, making this confession to right now. He's trying to atone. He's begging for their forgiveness. I cannot express how remorseful I am for my part in this, and I am truly sorry. All right. And what this proves my theory is plausible. The disaster that flooded the world was man made. And then we see people, they're like, Vegapunk, it's not your fault. All right, I'm guessing that's Baltimore, the people on his home island. And then what do we got? Okay, we got Momo and Kinemon. I'm like, huh? Then Pluton is. Okay, so they're like kind of getting the realization of like how powerful these ancient weapons are. And, you know, Momo knows now that Pluton is underneath Wano. So he's like, wait, we have a weapon this strong, like underneath us right now. And they're like, Lord Momonosuke. And then we see Crocodile over here. You know, he's got a stogie in his mouth. He's like, there were once three great ancient weapons. Oh, damn. Is he about to reveal all three of them? Like, is it going to become a hunt for the ancient weapons? Is he going to reveal Shirahoshi? And then it goes, it is said that Joy Boy attempted to ensure that they would be passed on to future generations. We see Shirahoshi right there. That begs the question, why hasn't the world sunk enough? Such ambiguity makes it hard to brand one side just and the other evil. All right. So Vegapunk kind of pointing out the issues, you know, with this ancient war, like we don't have enough information to say, you know, one side is right, one side is wrong. You know, there could have been rights and wrongs committed on both sides, atrocities committed on both sides, or things that led to atrocities. You know what I mean? Look at Vegapunk. He was just trying to make an energy source, you know, power the world, not thinking about the possible uses for atrocity that it could be used for. But that's exactly what ended up happening. You know, the moment that he finished or, you know, developed it, the Gorosei swooped in and used to power an ancient weapon and completely wipe a kingdom off the map. A kingdom that we know still had people living on it. People, tons of people died in the use of that weapon right there. And then it says, but the day of answers is coming. And we see Sengoku over there. We see Osuru back there. And she's like, you're going to choke, you idiot. Like, does this mean that Sengoku knows a little bit more than he ever let on? Because he's over there like, oh, God. You know, damn it, he's shoving all these crackers in his mouth. He's about to choke on him. And then he's like, consider this a warning. When that time comes, everyone will fear the notion of a sunken world. All right. Not everyone, I think the fisherman will be over there like, yo, our time has finally come. Arlong's about to be breaking out of wherever the hell he's at. And he's going to be like, yo, it's my time now. But what do we, okay, so Vegapunk, the Void Sentry is still an enigma. But there are those who know what happened in its entirety. All right, so obviously referring to the Gorosei, I'm assuming, and 100% referring to Imu. All right, what do we got? So we see, I think this is Marine headquarters. Yeah, and we got Sakazuki over there, and he's just fuming. Like you can just see the smoke and the fire coming off of him. He's like, everything. You're going to explain everything, Vegapunk. He's like, God damn it, you're gonna tell them everything. All right, he's like, I'm referring to the former member I'm referring to the former members of the Pirate King's crew. Oh damn! All right, so Rayleigh, what's his name? We haven't seen Scopper Gabon. He might be around. I think he might be the man marked by flames. I know some people think it might be a Rouge because of his tattoos. We got what's his name out by the Twin Peaks with Laboon over there. Okay. They're like, pirates know how. All right. Obviously, they know because they made it all the way to Laugh Tale and they found the One Piece. They found the true history of the world. We know this. Rayleigh even confirmed this all the way back in Saboti. He offered to tell Robin about it, but he's like, in honesty, I could tell you, but you might come to a different conclusion, which kind of makes sense given what Vegapunk is saying, as far as not being able to clearly say this side was right, this side was wrong, this side is good, this side is evil. So it makes sense that Rayleigh them, they saw the truth of the world and they interpreted it one way, but maybe somebody else like Robin may interpret it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, see all these people, they're like, why would pirates know the world's secrets? Isn't that dangerous? All right. Well, they know about these secrets because they went out and looked for them, or at least, looked for this great treasure. Whether or not they knew they were looking for secrets at that point, remains to be seen. And then we see, what's your name? Hang on. How is that possible, Stella? How could you know? Or, yeah, how could you have known about me stealing a fragment of the Mother Flame? I cut off my memory synchronization. It should have been impossible. Not only that, but I know for a fact you're a terrible liar and a lousy actor. All right. So, again, I don't get how. So the thing that gets me about her, York, she's like, "How did you know I stole the Mother Flame? I cut off my synchronization so that you wouldn't have these memories." Don't you think he would have noticed? Like, wait, why would you turn off your synchronization? Why didn't I get data from you? I feel like that would have been a bigger red flag than anything. And then what do we got? You were genuinely surprised, right? York, this was all you're doing? Okay, so she's remembering back when she was first kind of spilling the beans to Stella, down when she was revealing that she was the one that had captured all the Cipher Pol agents. And then she's like, you got news about Lelouch and took readings. All right, so obviously did all of this without York's knowledge, which means maybe he was already suspecting York. They're like, what does that mean? When? The timeline doesn't add up. You must have known the government's plans. Otherwise, you wouldn't have done all this. You wouldn't have hidden the broadcast now. All right, she's like, how the hell did you get enough information, have enough time to enact this plan without me being able to find out? You should have never been able to find out what I was up to in the first place. But now you like came up with this whole grand plan and were able to keep me out of the loop, even though I'm a Vegapunk as well. And then what does it say? She's like, elders, I worked out where the broadcast snail is. She's like, are you certain? All right, so how did York figure it out? He's like, without a doubt, I'm a Vegapunk too. The snail is, all right, what are you guys thinking? All bets. Where's the snail? Is it on Vegapunk's self? Is it like connected to him? Is it in the big robot that's moving around right now? It's like in the Fabrio stratum. Nothing's working. The Iron Giant is guarding. Okay, so I've seen some people, out in the community saying the Iron Giant's got to be where he's hiding right now. And then we see this big Iron Giant on the move. We see all this smoke and flame around it. Like it's just carnage everywhere on Egghead right now. But wherever that transponder snail is, the Iron Giant seems to be protecting it. And then we see the eyes glowing. All right. And then what do we got? Okay, so we see Stella, and he's like, I'm sure they knew our entire lost history. So why? Why would they just fade away without telling a soul? Why didn't they act? All right, so they're talking about Pirate King's crew, Rayleigh, and all them. Rayson. All right, so it's back at Saboti, I think. And then we see Shocky right there. Haven't you had enough booze? All right, you rarely get this wasted. And we see Rayleigh, he's all hammered, just hanging out over there in the bar. He's like, I'm old and washed up now, damn it. Just like Vegapunk here, a blabbering old geezer who's already said too much. She's like, don't be an ass and take it away from the youngsters. All right, what do we got? And then we see him slam his drink on the ground. Rayleigh's like, the thrill is theirs to seek now. Right, Roger? And he's still kind of got a smile on his face. Those who knew the truth just laughed. All right, so maybe they laughed because it just proves nobody was right or wrong. Everybody was wrong. You know what I mean? Everybody was right and everybody was wrong. Everybody, you know, like he said, they can interpret it however they want. And maybe because of that fluidity of interpretation, that's why the truth is just funny because it's whatever you make of it. There is no truth. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is no good, evil as far as what happened in these events. It's all a matter of perspective. And, for a bunch of pirates, maybe it was just something that just went way above their head. They're like Luffy. They just want to go on this great grand adventure and they don't really care about all these politics and anything. Yeah, if they see it, they'll do something about it, but that's not their mission. That's not their goal. They just want to go out and, be free. And again, we know that there's a dream of Luffy's that he's revealed to the crew that kind of like got them tripping out, like, wait, what? But we still to this day do not know exactly what that is. Plenty of people have theorized about what it is. I'm not gonna, postulate right now, but maybe that has something to do with it. But anyways, we'll be on break next week, so time to drop some theories. Check out everyone's channel, see what everyone's thinking about it. Let me know what you guys thought about this chapter down in the comment section. Make sure if I miss anything, please point it out to me. If you guys got any crazy theories you guys are thinking about, share it with me, man. I'd love to hear them. But other than that, have a wonderful day.